Good morning, my people, and welcome to the next play. I'm your host, Darkel, and thank you for joining me. I would like to start this morning by saying the answers from the quiz and questions yesterday was what was the Chicago Bulls' name before they were the Chicago Bulls, and the answer is the Chicago Stags. And today's question is what was the Toronto Raptors' name before they was the Raptors? And I want to take the time out and say please like, share, and subscribe. It takes 3 seconds and it's always free. And I want to begin the day by saying this: finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. You shall begin it serenely and with too high regard to be encumbered with your old nonsense. That was by the great Waldo Ralph Emerson. Today I want to talk about a word that's real strange to me, and this is what religion and a lot of stuff is based on, because it has a basic, it's almost like they did this for a reason. It's called dogma. And dogma is a principled belief for a set of doctrines laid down by an authority such as a church. Political ideology is an absolute truth. It is expected to be accepted uncritically without doubt or need for proof. Ideological, philosophical, dogma, core assumptions within political frameworks, e.g. neoliberalism, conservatism, or philosophical schools that adherents treat as unquestionable axioms. Negative critical sense. In everyday language, dogma often carries a pejorative meaning. It describes an arrogant, closed-minded, or restrictive system of belief that rejects rational discussion or demonstrable evidence. People who blindly adhere to such rules are referred to as a dogmatic. It can't be questioned, doubted, or debated. That's crazy to me. I could never be I don't know. I mean, I believe in a higher power, so I guess I don't know. But I'm going to get in part 2 of Kareem Abdul Jabari and why I think he was the greatest player in NBA history over Michael Jordan. And that's just the way I feel, because his numbers don't lie. If he had he had more championships than Mike. And he created a shot, and he led the league in scoring for 40 years. Mike didn't do those things, but because so many people was in love with the dunk instead of his favorite sky hook that he created, I could understand that. Kareem Abdul Jabari is a basketball legend. He dominated the NBA for 20 years with his signature sky hook. He holds 6 championships, 6 MVP awards, and scored a staggering 38,387 points. Off the court, he is a tireless civil rights activist, author, and Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient. Born Ferdinand Louis Alcindor, New York City, Kareem was a prodigy. He led Power Memorial High School to a 71-game winning streak. He then went on to UCLA to play for Coach John Wooden. There he led the team to 3 straight. So that's back-to-back-to-back NCAA championships. In 1969, the Milwaukee Bucks drafted Alcindor. He won Rookie of the Year in 1970. In 1971, he led the Bucks to NBA championship. The same year, he converted to Islam and changed his name to Kareem Abdul Jabari, which means noble servant of the Almighty. In 1975, Kareem was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. He brought a new era of Showtime basketball to LA alongside Magic Johnson. He won 5 more chips in 1980, 82, 85, 87, and 88. His signature shot, the sky hook, made him nearly impossible to guard. He would jump, hold the ball high above his head with one arm fully extended and flick it to the hoop. Defenders could not reach the ball in time. Kareem retired in 1989 as the greatest scorer in basketball history and NBA history. He held the all-time scoring record for nearly 40 years until LeBron James broke it in 2023. You can read more about his remarkable career stats on the NBA Kareem Abdul Jabari profile. Beyond sports, Kareem is a fierce voice for social change. He boycotted the 1968 games to protest racial injustice. In 2016, President Barack awarded him the President Medal of Freedom for his athletic achievements and advocacy work. Today, he writes columns, acts, and speaks on modern social issues. Beside that, he sold 3 championship rings to raise $3 million along with some of his memorabilia. So because he said instead of it collecting dust in his closet, he felt it would be more useful for the youth to have a chance like that he had when he was little, to give them a better chance with the money that he raised. Now, I don't see Michael doing none of that. I never heard of him doing it. He turned his back on the kids in Chicago and New York. They was robbing for his sneakers every time they came out. So could you imagine what they was doing in Chicago for his sneaker? And he was real silent and real disappearing act. Mike pulled a lot of times in that community. He could have did way more for Chicago, but he failed on that aspect. Okay. Now, the scores in NBA action. The Fire defeated the Mystics 75-56. Shakira Austin had 19 points and 9 rebounds. Carla Light had 14 points for the Fire. In Major League Baseball, we had one game. That was the New York Mets. They defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 4-1. Okay, again, I would like you to please like, share, and subscribe, because it's always free and it takes less than 3 seconds. I'm going to end this with my favorite saying. May each of you want but never want as long as you live. May each of you live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day, so I'll never know when great people like you have passed away. May you live as long as you want but never want as long as you live. And remember, if your device is not on the next 6-7, the next play 6-7, then your device is not on. Peace, love, and prosperity to all. I'm out.